Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the video. And here today we are finally starting our series on console IDs. And this series is going to be a few parts. Today in this part we are going to cover the console IDs themselves as well as the CID generators. So along the way with the other videos we're also going to cover things like CID stealing, uh, why you're getting banned, things that can cause you to get banned, uh, a lot of things that I'm sure you probably didn't know, uh, the myths we're going to cover about getting banned and SID stealing, the security risks that are involved with the files that are just not stealing only your SIDs, but also taking potentially a lot of other stuff from your PS3 and compromising your network security. Um, where do you get console IDs once you've been banned? Are they free? Do you have to pay? And the pay ones, there's a lot of scams out there going on with them. We're going to tell you what to look for and all that good stuff. So we're going to cover some of the truths, some of the myths, some of the flat out lies, and a lot of stuff in between. So let's get started here today with the console IDs themselves. And I figured since we're going to start with that, let's go ahead and let's start with the CID generators that are the things that actually, well, generate these numbers. So before we hit that up, let's just cover the console ID itself real quick. So let me go ahead and bring that up. All right, so I lost my little thing here. Okay, so here is kind of a typical console ID. Of course, I made this one up. And the console ID, otherwise known as a CID or an IDPS, is all the same thing. This is responsible for online tasks. Now, this is a set of 32 digits, right? And then you have your PSID, which is used for offline tasks, kind of like HDD linking and for your HDD backups and save games. So when save games are locked into a particular console, for example, this number, the PSID, is what locks those game saves in. But we're going to focus on the console ID because that's what signs you into PSN and whatnot. Now, most PS3s work pretty much the same. The first 16 digits, you already have that. That's in your system. And those 16 digits are usually the same and change very little from one PS3 to the next. Now, in most console IDs that I've seen, these 16 digits are, at least here in the US, are usually the same, and they tend to be the same in each region. And they differ slightly from one to the next. But for example, here in the US, the ones I've seen, they're pretty much the same, and the only difference is that the 16th digit, where you see here it's only the 16th character, which is a B. Sometimes I've seen it as an A. Sometimes I've seen it as the number 9. But these first 16 are usually the same, and the first 15 are usually always the same. So basically, you have the first 16 of these 32 digits. The last 16, well, that's where the trick is. That's where the money is. That's when people get banned. That's really what you need to figure out, because these first 16 digits are responsible for like your SKU, possibly your region and stuff like that. So, but none of that really matters. You can pretty much take any console ID from any PS3, even if it's a super slim, and stick it into a fat PS3 if the fat one is banned. And as long as the super slim one is legit and it's not banned, then your fat console will get back online. So this is where a CID generator comes in. When people get banned, they try and find a number that works. The problem is that there's been like 80 million PS3s that have been made. When you sign into PSN and you sign into their network, their servers look at your console ID and check to see if that console ID is of a PS3 that actually has been made. And then it checks to see if it's banned or not. This is why you can't just make up a number. It has to be a PS3 that has actually been manufactured and been made. All right, guys. So this is where, oh, I don't know why I started my freaking calculator. Okay, so this is where the console ID comes in. Console ID generator. The generator is, of course, supposed to generate a number that if you put it into your PS3, you will get unbanned and you'll get back to your online gaming life. So do these things work? The short answer, believe it or not, is actually yes. These generators can actually work. The thing with these generators, though, is not the possibility that they will work, it's the probability that they will work. There is a big difference between both of those words. You don't know what they mean, look them up. Possibility and probability, not the same thing. So the probability is where the issue is. Before we get to that, these two particular console ID generators that I'm showing you are ones that, and there's a lot of variations of these types of console ID generators that are out there. These should be avoided at all costs. There's no reason ever that a generator needs to attach or connect itself to your PS3. The only reason why it would is to take shit out of your PS3. And I'm not just talking about console IDs. Anything from your login information to if you used a credit card in your PS3 to pay for something in the PSN store, that number, if it's stored in your PS3, it's coming out. Your network can easily get compromised, your home network. I mean, a lot of shit can be taken out of your PS3 with these generators that attach themselves. A generator is just a simple program that just is an algorithm that generates a certain group of numbers. It's not that complex. There is no reason to attach itself to your PS3. Not only that, but it doesn't matter if you have, again, a console ID from a super slim PS3 and you have a fat PS3, you can take that console ID and use it in yours. So why would it need to attach? What's what is it doing attaching to your PS3? Is it, making the number that is more customized to your system? No, definitely not, because you can put any number in there. It's strictly malicious, I promise you. So those need to be avoided at all costs. Now, the reason why these generators are more than likely not to work is because of the probability. Someone already kind of sort of figured this out and went through a lot of trouble. They made a detailed chart here and everything. I'm going to post a link to this. It's posted up on NGU, and here's that chart. Basically, with that chart, and we're looking at the U.S. here, and this was accurate, or pretty accurate, up to the end of 2013, end of 2014, in terms of sales and stuff for units in the sold in the U.S. and Japan and around other regions around the world. So what it boils down to is that your chances are basically 2 out of 10 trillion that you'll generate a console ID that works. 2 out of 10 trillion. Just so you get an idea, what that means is if you did 100 CiDs a day for 365 days a year, you would have tried out about 36,500 CiDs. If you followed this formula, and I put those numbers here against the 10 trillion, if you follow this formula for 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, and 10,000 years, here are the numbers you would come up with. So 100 CiDs a day for 10,000 years, if you manage to live that long, would mean that you would try 365 million CiDs. If your chances are only 2 out of 10 trillion, that means you're not even at the halfway mark after 10,000 years, because half of 10 trillion is 5 trillion. This is not even half of 1 trillion. Half of 1 trillion would be 500 million. You're not even at that. So that just shows you how improbable it is that you would get a number that would hit. Now, the other thing is that these generators are really completely useless, because any generator would work. You already have the first 16 digits. You only need the last 16 digits, really. So here's something I found within like 2 minutes. It's called Random Code Generator. This works online. And look, I just put down to generate 100 codes. This could be 500, 1,000, whatever you want. And the criteria is, since we need the last 16 digits, the code length only needs to be 16. I marked the digit box since it uses numbers. And for extra characters, I put A, B, C, D, E, and F, because Sony uses those 6 letters in its formula to make console IDs, along with numbers. And look what it did. It generated 16 digits that are, completely randomized, and you can take these, copy them, paste them to the end of your first 16 digits that you already have, put them in your PS and see if it works. This does the exact same thing. You can print out the text and all 100 codes will print. If you selected 500 up here or 1,000, you can print out whatever the 500 or 1,000 and then copy and paste them. And that's it, man. I mean, seriously, you don't even have to install anything in your PS or your PC. Now, there are standalone programs that work in your PC that don't even require installation. There are some that even are portable that work from like a USB device or whatever. But you don't need a quote unquote console generator. You need any generator that will meet these guidelines of 16 digits using these 6 letters, and then of course using the rest as numbers. That's it. That's all you need. But the odds of you getting them, 2 in 10 trillion of getting one that actually works. So good luck, guys, if you decide to go down that route. Thanks for watching the video. Hope they helped out some. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and watch the other videos on the way. The next segment, the next parts will be the SID stealing that's going on, also what's getting you banned and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for those as I make them. The links will be in the description. Thanks again for watching, guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.